want to tell the story. Please introduce yourself to everybody out in cyber world today. Rocky Costas, who are you?
Okay. Hi there. So first of all, thank you very much for hosting me, and happy Easter to everybody. I'm always about positive vibes. I was an ex-professional boxer, and I play on a movie as well. I was an amateur as well, and in January, I kind of decided to become a journeyman, so I can box everyone and everywhere. And so that's why I'm gonna be speaking about it.
So you
So yeah.
started out, I mean, I've got some wonderful images of, you back in the day. And I didn't even know where to start because your history is so
Mm,
steeped. And people are going to say, well, who is he? And,
yeah.
and when there was so many, and I was like, who did he fight? Oh my God, what's the record? And then I said to myself, and I'm not jumping out of this,
Yeah.
let him tell his story. So I'm going to ask you the questions
Mm,
and I want you to tell me, where were
okay.
you born? And, where were you born? Where did you grow
Okay.
up? Let's start there.
Okay. Okay. So I grew up in Greece. I'm half Greek, and so my mom is from here. And when we moved to Greece, I was quite young, and I started going to school, and it was, growing up in Greece, it was quite rough. So I it was kind of different on this era, because if you wasn't fitting in with the group, you would get bullied, and it's kind of the upbringing, obviously going to school and getting bullied, having this, constant fear all the time. Because I was a young little chubby boy, that's the truth, and I used to go to school, and the Greek boys, they would bully me all the time because I couldn't defend myself. So, my upbringing, it wasn't as normal as other kids, because when you get bullied, you individual yourself from the other kids, and you live in a constant fear all the time, to go somewhere and do something, because they might pick up on you. It was hard times, and because of that, I kind of, as I start going to an age, from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I started realizing that I had to do something. I couldn't, it's kind of, many, to say that, yeah, the list, yeah, many kids, they
Absolutely.
have killed
Yes,
themselves because of that,
absolutely.
and it's quite horrifying, as you know as well. And many times in my life, when I was younger, it crossed my mind because I could not take
Oh,
the
Rocky.
constant bullying all the time. Yeah, no. Listen, it was, as I said, it was hard times, because you don't have anyone to defend you. Even if your mom and dad, they come to school, to talk to the teachers, they won't understand what you're going through, because once they leave back home, the bullying will start again. And so as the time passed, I grew up to become most, like kind of keeping myself to myself. And that's when everything changed. When I was 11 years of age, um, I couldn't afford to buy a ticket to go somewhere, because we was a poor background, we didn't have much money as it was. And so I was standing outside the boxing gym. Um, it was free for young kids, you see. And I thought myself, should I go in? Should I not? I didn't know. And you know what? Honestly, I tell you, yeah. So as I said, I'm always
I want
positive
to hear,
vibes,
oh,
but you have
it's
to
your
tell the story from the
platform. I
beginning.
want you to just
Otherwise,
speak and
people will.
tell it. I'm not saying a
Okay,
word. It's just be you.
okay, okay. And so I remember like yesterday, I walked in and it was this Greek guy called, I still remember his name. God bless him. He died a few years back, but his Greek name was Stelios, and he was quite older at the time. It was, because I was 11 years of age, and at the time might be around 55. I say so 60, you know. And he said, "Well, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "Well, I want to learn how to fight because I get bullied all the time, and I can't take it anymore." And and he said to me, "You know what? Come in, let's see." So I start training from being really fat, and getting bullied, I started becoming, lean. I lost weight. I was 11 years of age, but I looked like Rocky. I looked, because I had this anger inside of me. I was thinking,
So did
well,
you have a lot
if
of
you're doing
anger?
it,
Was there a lot of anger
I
inside?
have to do something.
Oh.
Yeah, it was an anger that it was growing to the point where I come to this point in my life where I knew if somebody pushed me to the slightest, I would just explode. And actually, look, I won't lie to you, the emotions running inside, it was kind of us. It's like you want to
Yeah,
kill some. It gets to this
yeah,
point, because I couldn't take it. It wasn't that much the physical.
yeah.
Obviously somebody beating you up. I didn't care less. It's the emotional. Calling you names, and it happens all the time. It just people that don't talk about it because people are too scared to be judged. And that's the truth. And I'll tell you now, yeah, many people, many times they asked me to do interviews on radios before when I was boxing. I always said no. This is the first ever time somebody has seen me face to face talking about it. And the reason why I choose you, Valerie, is because you're an honest person. So I want people to know that. And that's the truth, okay? So, um,
I'm gonna try and contain myself.
so
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
I have never said,
I'm so honored,
no, no, it's okay.
and I just want you to just tell your story. And I'm so proud it's me that you chose
No,
to do this with. So, um,
sometimes I never wanted to be famous. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really famous, but so what basically happened, I went to the boxing gym and I start losing weight, I start getting a bit of attention. And this is a defining moment in my life. And believe it or not, yeah, I'm 37 years of age, I'm a family man, I'm married, got my own house,
you got a
I
beautiful
work like
baby.
everybody else. I never yeah, she's inside, keep it quiet. Um, I've never become a bully. And this is what I wanted to say. I could have become a bully and bully the guys who bullied me and bully other kids as well, but I didn't. I decided to use this passion and this anger I had so I can do something in my life. And so I flourished, I boxed as an
Stop,
amateur in
stop.
Greece.
So
I
hold on a
won many
minute.
fights.
How? So when did you start amateur?
Yeah.
Because here you are,
Mm,
11 years old. Stelios is training you, and obviously he's
mm,
disciplining you not to take that
yeah,
anger out and beat everybody else up that's been bullying you. So when did you turn amateur? Because you're saying you turned amateur, then
correct.
you went to fight in Greece. Come on, you're skipping parts. Stop skipping.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Well, no. So I
Ah,
was in
okay.
Greece while I was training as an amateur. Uh, yeah, yeah. So and so while I was in Greece and I was 11 years of age, went to the boxing club. This older guy, he picked me up,
Okay.
and then I start training there. And that's sorry, yeah, and that's when I start boxing. And believe it or not, yeah, from one moment in the darkest places ever, your life just flows just like that. It's like in a blink of an eye. 1 minute I remember walking on the street and being scared somebody picking on me, and the next minute I was like, I didn't give a hell. I was like thinking, come on boys, let's have it. And it's kind of, and this is where so from 1 minute I was obviously getting bullied, the next minute I start obviously training, and this guy kind of gave me a life of dreaming about it. Because when you start boxing, you have a lot of fights, you win many fights, people will start taking notice of you see. And I start winning a few fights, I start knocking people out as well, and as I boxed I was boxing every other week, continue boxing, and that's
Was it
where
all in
I
Greece?
kind of
Or
my
so was
life
that all the
changed.
amateurs in Greece? Because I know you came to England and fought as an
Yeah,
amateur, as an amateur. Because I've got those,
correct.
some pictures here. But go on, keep talking, and I'll put them up. Go
Mm,
ahead.
yeah. So and so yeah. So while we was in Greece, we was boxing in a place he called Thessaloniki. Many people that might know it from going on holidays, and there was an English manager who was there. I don't know what he was doing there. He was possibly on holiday, so it was just a coincidence. And he saw me, and then from there I kept in touch with him, and he said to me, when I go to be an 18 years of age, to come in England, and sign a contract in box as a pro here. And so when I was 16 years of age,
Oh
16 and a
wow.
half, I joined the Greek army. Yeah, because
So I
every
heard.
Greek man has to do the national service. Yeah. So I went to the army. I was posted away for 2 years. I boxed for the army as well. And then when I returned back, obviously back home, to Greece, and that's when I moved in England, to obviously, and that's where the life of from living Greece is a rich country to the rich, but poor to the poor. Nobody will ever give you a chance. It's kind of, if somebody knows the secret how to live your life as normal, they won't say it. They will keep it inside of them as kind of as a secret. And it's quite hard because when you grow up in Greece, you kind of, it's a beautiful country. The people are good. It's just everybody is kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah.
looking after themselves. So you kind of stuck. And and I wasn't very good at school, because boxing is kind of trans transform my life of, just thinking about boxing all the time. So, and as I was growing up, obviously when I was boxing, I had to work as well. So I used to
So
work
that
in
way that
restaurants in
allowed you to
Greece,
have earn
and
some money and your keep, didn't it?
and then yeah. But the most defining is as well, I was always going back home and giving it to my mom. I say, whatever I earn from working, as a young kid, I will always go back and tell my mom, there is some money for you, because I had two little brothers as well. And, my dad, left us when we was kind of young, so yeah. So, as I said, it comes a time in your life where you kind of, you don't know where you are, what you're doing, and then the next minute you use this negative attitude of people to become positive, you see. And the vibes, believe in me, and I know I get off the subject, but I keep telling people, it doesn't matter what happens, because at the end it will happen what
That's
is supposed
right.
to happen. You can't
That's
change it,
right.
and
So
that's what people they
18
don't
years, so
understand.
you've got
um
all this passion.
People they don't
And
understand.
did you come to England by yourself? So you've got a ticket and you've come to
Mm,
England. Did you have family here?
yeah. So yeah, I had
Okay.
the, my mom. So my mom was already here. Yeah. So my aunties they was here. They all lived in London. They're from London. So they was married to English people as well. So it's kind of, so when I came here, we didn't have any money. It was very hard. It was hard, 'cause, I mean, it was just hard. Because you have to take the
Yeah.
risk. If you don't take the risk, you can't grow.
Yeah.
And if you cannot grow, you can't become your best.
So you took the risk.
So you have to,
So
in the moment
18,
in your
did you
life, you
meet
need to
up
find.
with
I did, yeah.
this manager? So you've
And
come back, you've come back to the UK, 18, and you looked up this manager who
yeah,
told you to come and sign papers with him. Tell me what happened
yeah,
there. So what happened there?
correct. Okay, this is what happened, yeah. And okay, so I moved to a place. We used to live in a place in Chertsey. I live outside
Oh, I know.
London in
Yeah, yeah.
Surrey. It's called Chertsey, and yeah. So we used to live there, and for the couple of times, my uncle drove me to the boxing gym, which he was from Chertsey. It was all the way to Maidenhead, so it was quite 40 to,
That's a
I think it was
distance.
around
Yeah.
36 miles or something like that. It was quite a long, yeah. So I didn't speak very good English. I still I doesn't, I don't speak good anyways, So, um, so my uncle said to me, "Well, you're gonna have to get there by yourself because I can't drive you over time because it's too far away." So what I've done, I brought a second-hand bicycle and I cycled all the way. This is gone as the truth. Everybody will tell you. Michael Sprott, when you speak to him next time, everybody will tell you. I cycled 40 miles either other way every single day in the rain, sunshine, snow. It doesn't matter what was happening outside. I will cycle and cycle and cycle until I cannot cycle anymore. And And so I would get to the boxing gym, and this guy would train me, and to teach me how to become a professional fighter. Because to be a professional fighter, you have to have a clarity to be a good fighter, a good role model, but above all, to train hard.
That's
If you
right.
can't do that, it won't happen. Not everybody, not everybody will become Anthony Joshua or Devontae Wilder. Some
That's
people, they
right.
just don't have a clarity like Anthony Joshua had. Or I picked out Anthony Joshua because I like him. I think he's a great boxer,
Okay.
and he's one of my favorites as well. But not
Redeem
everybody will have a
themselves.
chance to,
Yeah.
they won't. Yes. Right. So, people, they only see Anthony Joshua to his highs, when he
Yeah.
boxed, or
But they
Tyson
don't know
Fury
the
as well,
journey behind it to get there,
Um,
do they?
the-
It's not easy.
yes, correct. So, correct. Boxing, and I'll tell you what happened, but boxing is divided in two different fighters. It's the fighters who will make it all the way to the top because they have a TV behind them, they have a right manager, they have the money. Some of them will work, and then they get a sponsor, but some of
Okay,
them,
let's not
they
say it
become
as
as
become
me,
as you. So let's
they're
let's
just
get
never
your
given a
story.
chance.
So 18, you've gone to
Yeah.
this gym, you're going every single
Okay.
day. You've bought a cycle and you started an amateur career. What was that? What was your amateur record? Because I have something here, but let me see if it
Correct.
ties up with what I have. So,
uh,
how much?
so 70
Seven
altogether.
zero.
70. How many you
Wow.
have?
Okay.
Yeah, how
Now,
many you have? Yeah,
I
well,
have I have a
uh,
record here, and this might be your professional one then. But
mm.
let me show everybody what I
Oh yeah.
have. Okay, so you're undefeated, 16 wins and 10
Okay.
knockouts. So whose is that?
Oh
Who's
no,
why
that
you?
was
This is what
no,
I
that wasn't
plucked
me.
out.
That's the guy.
So
Uh, this is the guy who,
yeah,
he was an Olympic. He boxed in Junior Olympics. He was in Liverpool, and Frank Warren. It was another fight.
okay.
Frank Warren, he got me to fight him.
So you
He's the trainer of David
Yeah,
Price. That's
right.
not
That's
that's
what
not
I
me.
wanted to get because you sent
That's
me
me
this
boxing.
information and I looked at it and I thought
Yeah.
that doesn't tie
Okay.
up. So I'm glad that I'm
Oh
showing it
yeah.
to see what it is that you sent me
Oh
because I
no.
couldn't find this record. This is what you sent.
Okay.
I was like, what the hell?
Oh
But
no,
I'm
that's
glad
not
now
me.
you've cleared that
Yeah.
up. So
No.
here you
No,
are.
that's not me.
Your record is amateur 70,
Mm.
70 wins,
Yeah.
70
I
fights.
No, I had 75.
Okay, yeah,
I
I
didn't
know
win
that.
all of it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't win all of them, but most of them there was like, yeah, I didn't win all of them. But then basically, what happened
When was
after
your first
that?
pro fight?
So
And
taking
who
it
was
back
the
to here.
manager?
Okay, so the first pro fight I had. So
Oh,
my manager, God bless him, he passed away a couple of weeks ago. His name, yeah, he died. He had cancer. So
okay.
his name is Jim Evans. Yeah. So what? As I said, I'm always about positive vibes, but most of the people I was in boxing with, most of them have died. A part of one of them,
Yes,
which is
yes,
obviously Frank
yeah,
Maloney, which is called now Tony
yeah. I
Maloney,
think I've got some
and yeah.
pictures of Frank
So
Maloney here. So did
yeah,
you? There you go.
Frank, yeah, and he was a very,
That's you with Frank Maloney.
mm, yeah.
It's
Well, I
Kelly.
don't
That's
call him
right. But
anymore Frank
okay,
because
so
his real name
Kelly,
now is
that was
Kelly,
you
and
with
and
him then. Yeah.
yeah, and now, yeah, and I always respect the transmission of people, So I still talk to him sometimes now, He's, look, he helped me out, He got me fight. He put food on my table, I could not be any more thankful, um, yeah, so I turned pro when I was 18. I was training very hard, and this is where it's kind of the life is like kind of, when you go to, um it's like a road. It's a very hard road, because you kind of moving. You seems like you're moving on the right
What
direction, and then all of a
happened?
sudden it happens and it brings you down again, and you need to have the. I tell you, so it gets me the first fight. and I'm fighting somebody who's got like
Yeah.
13 wins, 2 losses, and it's a good record, I mean, 13 wins, 2 losses. I mean, and it was my first fight. So we traveled all the way from Maidenhead. I'll never forget it, to Southampton, and there was a manager I used to call Jack Bishop, and he was a promoter and a manager who obviously passed away not long ago. He was a very good man. He was an older guy, but boxing was his passion, and he was very good friends with my then manager, Jim Evans. And so he said to me, "Well, you'll be training hard. It's good money, because back then, like,
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
2002, we're talking like 19 years now. Yeah, it's a long way." And so I said, "Okay," I said, "let's take the fight." So I went to Southampton, and the guy had sold
Yeah.
possibly
Okay.
400 tickets, which is a lot of money, because so I went in, I gave my best, and I lost some points.
Don't even look.
Look,
Come on.
there's
You
no
know
shame
that's not a
about it.
shame to
I,
lose
I
on
mean,
points.
I,
Do you know what I'm saying to
yeah,
you?
yeah.
But did
This
you?
is
How did you feel?
so I lost some. Do you know what? Yeah, this is the part where people don't understand about me, and that's why I've decided to do this interview for the first time. He option, it wasn't winning, wasn't an option. I know it sounds hard for people to understand. I didn't care about winning, because you know what is the most important thing? Giving my best. As long as I can give my best, that this is it. I couldn't do anything better than that. I went up in the ring, I smashed him up, and I lost. So this is the end of it. I think, that's the truth. So listen, I can be humble as well. I'm quite bubble guy. I don't really, I never take people. You know what? This is the thing. Yeah, I went up, I boxed somebody who was 13-2. It beats me on points. You know what? So what? I lost. But then, as we were driving back, this moment, believe
Why?
me,
How?
Valen,
How did you know
I knew I
that?
wasn't gonna become
How?
world champion. I knew I wasn't gonna become. I'll tell you. I knew I wasn't gonna become Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or all these big names. I just knew it because when I was driving back, I thought to myself, I can't sell any tickets. I haven't got any followers. Like Instagram. You got like, some people got like 100,000 followers. I'll give you a pure example. Jake Paul, who is a YouTuber. I mean, I never knew this guy before. I never heard of him before. I didn't know who the hell he was. And then he's challenging Floyd Mayweather, who is the best one of the best. In my era, you couldn't do that. To be where I was, you have to be a top amateur, 10 professional. Because hell, I didn't know any Greek guys who came in England or became a professional boxers. In my time, there was none. You see? So on these days now, you
Oh,
go over social
mate, I'm not
media, you
popular.
go like
Trust me.
Valerie, you go
I
Facebook,
just
you
do
go
what I want to
Instagram.
do. I follow
I'm just
my
saying,
gut. Even if I have one person, two people, for me, it's a message. It's whatever the message you like. Look, we're here today. You've never interviewed with
yeah,
anybody. And as I said, I am so blessed and I'm so grateful that you chose my
never.
platform to come and tell your story because you have a big story. And at the end of the day, but we didn't have social media back then.
Do you know what's the thing?
So
Yeah,
it was a lot harder for you to find people.
that's the. Do you know what? Yeah, and people don't understand. When they say to me sometimes,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, Vanna, get out of the way. They say, Rocky. I say, yeah, because this is one thing I jumped, and I was gonna mention it a bit later, but
Yeah,
they
why?
asked me, Rocky, why do they call you Rocky? What's
Yeah.
the idea behind?
Yes.
Because my
I
real
know
name
that.
is Nikos. That's my real name, Nikos. Nobody knows. Everybody calls me Rocky. The reason why they called me Rocky is because I was stocky, I was lean, I was 5'6", and I could fight anyone. I mean, literally, I think for the past, when I was boxing for 7 years, I boxed every week as a professional fighter. Every single Saturday I will be fight. So I will be box on the Saturday. I will be resting on the Sunday
But
with a big full of pocket of cash, yeah. and then
yeah.
and then on the Monday, Tuesday, I will chill. Wednesday, I will go for a run. Thursday, I will go in the boxing gym, do some parts with John Bloomfield
Yeah.
and Danny Whitman, Peter Murphy, all these trainers. And then on the Saturday, I would get a fight and I would travel to places that
So do
people
you think
they
that
would be
your
dream
trainer
of
at the
back then, you know.
time
So
just put you in as a journeyman, do you think?
do you know what, my lovely? I'll tell you the truth here. Do you know what? You're never gonna meet anyone who
Say
is
it,
that
say it.
honest as me, yeah? And that is coming.
No,
I'm
okay.
blessed
No,
and
I'm
I'm
asking.
proud
Do not
to
say
be
you
a
were a
journeyman
journeyman. I'm
because people
asking,
don't
do
understand.
you think,
Yeah.
yeah, don't,
No, no,
don't even
yeah, I'm
self-deprecate here,
happy. Yeah.
right? We're going to, you know what I mean? I understand all the things that you're proud of,
No.
but I'm
Yeah.
asking, do you think that, because remember, you didn't look
Yeah.
at yourself as a journeyman. You looked at yourself as a boxer. You wanted to box. You had
No.
dreams and aspirations, but you probably didn't, you
Correct.
know, you had a manager, you've had all these
Correct.
people around you, but they knew they could make money off you. They knew that they could, you know, put you in any fight and you would just go for the fight.
Correct.
You probably didn't speak up as much as you would now.
Yeah.
And so the question I'm saying to you is, do you think now, back then, they were treating you as
Mm-mm.
a journeyman? And do not say you
Mm.
are one. I'm saying, do you think they were treating you?
No. Yes. Do you know what happens in boxing? This is okay. I'm gonna tell you, because boxing is the kind of sport. It will only have two kinds of fighters. One of them, it will be fighting once a year. So, for example, you ring at somebody and they say, "Hi." So you are a manager, Valerie. You say, "Hi, hi, Rocky. How you been?" Now,
Yeah,
Rocky had an undefeated record, but he has never fought anyone. No, I mean, no, I mean that's the truth, you know. So you call me and say, "How you been, Rocky? I would like to have a book to a fight. I go to a fight, yeah. Say, for example, £10,000 to fight a top amateur who turned a pro. Now, if I have one of his fights, I will say to you, well, Valerie, I don't want to take the fight because I'm going to lose.
that's right.
Because you don't know how good you are until you go 50-50. And this is what people don't understand. You can have a record of 20 fights, knocked out of them 15, but you have fought people nobody ever heard of them. Not
That's
even their
right.
own mother. They don't know who is he, you know? And that's what pisses me off, you know. So do you see? And the truth of the matter is, for me, when I tend to be when people say, for example, I'll tell you about that, but when people they will come and say, "Hi Rocky, I've got a fight for you." Hell
Yeah,
yeah, boy. I was born to fight. I was trained to fight. So you know what? I never asked who he was, where he was. All I ever asked is how much. And this is it. So they will come in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, take it this way, Valerie. Yeah? It's like
they're
you're
out of
driving on the
order.
motorway, your car is break down,
They're out of
and
order.
you call the one you know he's gonna answer the phone. He's, you know, but that's the truth. This is, as I said as an example. If you break down on the middle of the road at 3 o'clock in the morning, you call the one or the person you know, he will answer his phone regardless or not. If he's up, if he's sleeping, if he's working, if he's sick, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. He's the one, he's your truly friend, because your truly friend is always the one who serves you the most. So do you know what? They gave me a call at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, "Rocky, you fighting the former British Commonwealth, wherever?" I said, "You know what? Yeah, man, how much?" And I will go there and I will give my best. Do you know? I went in the corner. I lost one fight. I won't mention it, but I lost one fight. I was crying my eyes out. Like I lost many fights on points, but and I went in the corner and my manager looks at me and he goes to me. I said, I can't believe I lost. And he goes to me, "It doesn't matter if you lost or if you won. And it doesn't matter. This is
yeah.
exactly what he said to me. And I'm gonna be speaking about him sooner or later. He said, it don't matter what happens to you, Rocky, because the truth is you have the heart of a world champion. It's just a bad luck. So do you know what? When people say to me, well, you did all right, I'm thinking, hell boy, let me get you a fight with somebody who will
So
smash
it
you
sounds
up
like,
and see how
you
you
know, it
do.
sounds
Do you know what
like
I mean?
that you
So
had, you know, you've got good people around you. Um, and here you are going to all these fights. Look, I mean, I've got pictures of you. There's a fight where you, let me see if I can find it. You were just blooded up. I was like, OMG. I thought, what the hell? What did you
oh
get
yeah,
into? You
this
know, I was
guy,
like, brother.
I'll tell you, this guy, this guy This guy, or I'll tell you, yeah, Wales,
Yeah.
yeah, Wales had, yeah, that's Floyd Havoc, yeah. Now, Floyd Havoc, he's a very good personal friend of mine, and he almost boxed for Olympics. He was a top amateur. If you ever box in Wales, there's only few good fights from Wales, yeah. But there's three of them who was top notch. One of them is Floyd Havoc. The other one is a very good friend of
Yeah.
mine,
I know Barry
Barry
Jones. Yeah.
Jones,
Yeah.
who is the Box Nation, commentator. I know Barry Jones because we trained in the same place. He was training the boys there. He's a very nice man. He's done a lot of things for the community. He's a very, very, very nice guy. And talk to him like about anything is easy to talk. And and then people that will say, well, and there's another well, sorry to say, Barry Jones, another Barry Jones, who he was a professional boxer. He was a top amateur. He boxed Jason Cook for
Yeah,
the
but what
British
about
title, and
you? What
he
about
won some other
you?
titles as
What do,
well.
you've got your
And he
amateur,
just
you've got
boxed now.
70 fights. You've lost how many did you lose? Do you remember your record?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you lost
No,
many
but
on
I lost
points
many,
and
on
you lost
points,
a few.
and
You
yeah,
you know in your heart that you're a
yeah,
good fighter because for you to take most of your fights to the distance, bloodied, to the point, to the distance. But it sounds like in your corner, the faith that you
mm.
needed wasn't enough. Go.
Can I tell you the truth? Yeah, right.
Very
This
direct.
is
I'm
okay.
straight to
Look,
the point.
hear
I
me.
watch
All right.
boxing
Look,
24/7,
I'm quite
so you
excited.
know
I'm
I'm going to
giving you.
ask it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna tell you why. Yes. Yes. You can ask me anything you want. You know why I decided to do this interview? Because I want to tell
Let
you
it
what I've
out.
been keeping
Let
inside
it
of me
out.
for over 20 years now. Yeah. So very comes. Yeah. I would never diss anyone. You know what I mean? I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not the kind of guy I'll see in the street and people do it now. Hi, hi, Rocky. And I'm thinking, oh, hi. And then they will walk away and then I would tell my other mates or whatever, oh, yeah, he was all right. I'm thinking, you know what, boy? I was all right. Book a fight, come around, and let me show you who was all right. Because did you understand what I mean? Yeah? But I always been humble. I never spoke about people in a bad way because I wouldn't like them to do the same. So do you know what? The people who have done my corner, and this is coming. They've done the best they could. Do you know what? I thank them. Most of them have passed away. God bless them. They will always be in my heart. They will always have a place. But you know what?
Okay, so you
I choose
chose
them.
them. You
So
chose those
this is the
people,
answer.
and because
I
I tell you,
choose.
it sounds like, and I
Yeah,
love
you
that
choose
about
for
you.
yeah.
It's your loyalty. You have so much. You're humble,
Thank
and
you.
you've got loyalty.
Yeah,
And in the fight game, and as you will know now, and you would have known then, loyalty means like that in the fight game. It is like that because there are
yeah,
people I've interviewed a lot of boxers.
correct.
I've spoken to a few boxers, and when I've spoken to them, similar like yourself, they changed their coaches
Mm-hmm.
like their underpants because they either were told they were that good when they were crap,
Yeah,
or they knew that they could do better, and their manager wasn't doing the best for them. Some of the people that I've interviewed were, again, the same question which I've
yeah.
asked you. So it's not against you, is that whole journeyman syndrome. But they knew that they
No,
could put you up against, not you per se,
yeah.
personally, they knew they could put these boxers up against everybody else and make money. But they didn't
Mm-hmm.
care about your well-being or that person's well-being or
Correct.
that boxer's well-being. It was all about, I can make the fight. I have a boxer, and I know he can box, but I know he won't be a champion. With that attitude, that rubs off on the boxer. Yeah.
Do you know how? Can I tell you the truth? Yeah. All right. See that? Yeah. Right. So me and Jim Evans, who he was my manager, my initial manager. I had with him 5 fights. That's it. I ended up having on this record when I had with him with Jim Evans, I had 3 losses, 1 win. Right. So after this fight, he was busy, because there was a lot of people, they was in the boxing gym, so I decided to go with another guy who is kind of, he became very good close friend of mine, and he was always gonna be in my heart.
Okay.
And his name was Dean Powell. Dean Powell, you know, and Dean Powell, he was a very straightforward guy. This man, he, this man, sorry, this man, he was the greatest matchmaker at all times.
Oh
He
wow.
had Joe Kazaki, the former undefeated world champion. He had Amir Khan. Yeah. If anyone hears that interview, Dean Powell, who passed away, and I'm gonna speak about it. Um, he was, yeah, that's Joey Kazaki and Richie Woodward.
Yeah.
Richie
Yeah.
Woodward, he was one of the
I loved
commentators,
watching
and
both
he's
of them.
still
They
a
were really great
commentator.
guys.
Joey Kazaki decided to be a trainer. Oh my God!
Oh my
I
God.
remember
Yeah.
watching Richie
No, we
Woodward
could
when
talk
he
about
boxed
that all
Roy
day long.
Jones
Stop.
Jr. in the Olympics. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. So Dean Powell, we sat down and he said to me, "Listen, the truth is, you're not gonna become world champion because this is the name of the game. It's just you know." So he said to me, "You got two choices. You can live the dream, continue fighting. Maybe one day you get a chance, or you work with me. I get you law fights. You make a decent amount of living, and you'll be happy as Larry." And I was like, "You know what? I'm not a hypocrite. Look, I better live with the truth than die lying to myself. I don't care about the rest of the people. So I said to myself, he said to me, you strong man, you got a great name, Rocky, you got a good chin, you got a good heart. In the end, he said to me, you're gonna get big fights,
Yeah.
and people will know you not because who you beat, but who you fought." And that's when I decided to go on the road, and I was fighting every other week and staying in a nice
Yeah. I
hotels
saw you with
where Justin
Cisco. You got all
Timberlake he
these
was there,
pictures of all these
singing. So,
famous
and
people.
I was Cisco, yeah. So when we came to a mutual agreement, you know, you know what? Yeah, if there was ever a person, a part of us, for my wife, he was, he was the one. He was the man who helped me out, supported me, he gave me money. This man, he had been with the best people. He was in the corners of the best people, yeah, and yet he had time for me. And then I realized all I wanted is somebody to have time for
Yes.
me. Somebody to give me a bit of a.
Yes.
That's the truth,
Yes.
because boxing is a lonely sport. So and he had time for me. We used to have Christmas dinners. I used to go around. I used to see him. And he was a good friend of mine. He was possibly the best friend I ever had. That's the truth. So he got me a lot of fights, and this is where the story starts. I mean, I fought, I fought some big names, and it was only because of him. I wasn't going to win. I lost on points, but you know what? Hey, those coming undefeated, there was top amateurs. They've been boxing in America. They boxed for the British title, knock people out, and there I am, main event,
Just for the points.
making
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
money. Lost on points.
Do you
So what
think
is this?
that? I mean,
Yeah,
I've got some
yeah. You
wonderful
see, I still
comments
say
in all
lost on
the
points.
chat rooms. Michael
Who
Sprott
cares?
is up here. He says, "Great story, Rocky. Let it all out, champ." You got Deanna, the biologist. Proud of you, Rocky. You're an
Ah,
inspiration to us. At least he met. Someone says the Greek god said, "At least he met me." Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. But
uh,
Az
I don't know. Yeah, I
Az
don't know these
Obi
people, but
says,
Michael's pro, yeah.
tell
And
Valerie, tell
do you know
Rocky,
what? Yeah.
I know about him. Tell him that he's a warrior. Don't forget that I rate you. And he says he rates you very highly. So you are known,
Wow.
Rocky. It's not like, when I'm listening to your story, and I want you to continue
Thank you.
because here I wanted you to get to the part where you decided to give up
Yeah.
on, and please do not take this the wrong way when I use the words, because this is all about you. This is about your sport. And you're
No,
making
no,
this.
no, no.
I'm
Say
going to
it.
say it as it
Say
is
it, girl.
because I
Say
know
it.
you're going to be coming back and I
Gentlemen.
know you want to fight again. So I'm going to say this,
Yeah,
right?
say it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Sorry. Hold on. This is
No,
the
you're
thing
not
where we
fighting,
went
but
wrong.
you're going to be working within boxing again,
I'm not
basically.
fighting.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
a
Okay.
trainer now.
That's what,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. So let me say that right.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
looking
That's
to
sorry.
come
Yeah,
back
yeah.
within boxing, but in a
I am
different
fighting again, you
capacity, and
know.
we'll come back to that. Not as an actual boxer,
Yeah,
but here you. I want you to now bring us up
correct.
to date,
Okay.
where
Now,
you have now decided to. You've lost faith in yourself. You've lost faith. Maybe faith might be a strong word, but you started to probably lose faith in yourself, doubting.
yeah.
There's only so
No,
much your body can take going to points distance. And you're thinking, and you said it yourself earlier, oh,
yeah.
I didn't think I was ever going to be a champion. I don't think I was ever going to make it. When was that decision and why?
Okay. So
Tell
honestly,
me, baby, tell
wherever this is
me.
now, this is the
Yeah.
old, honest truth. Most people, when I want to tell you, most people when they have
I'm not
interviews,
doing that.
they like
Yeah.
to mumble bullshit, because they don't want people to know the truth. No, not you, not me. But they don't want people to know the truth. So you know what? Dean Powell, he had a tragic death, and I mention that because that was the defined moment when nobody saw me ever again. I was gone. I've got the ability to be here right this moment and just gone like this, like a ghost. Nobody will see me. I'm gone. So Dean Powell killed himself. Just before he kills himself, few days before, prior to it, he sends me a packet, and inside the packet there was some money and two boxing shoes,
Boots. Yeah.
professional
Yeah.
boxing shoes,
Yeah.
like a boot, when you training and boots, yeah, boots, yeah. And he says to me, "You're Rocky. Good luck. See you soon, pal." Right? And then he died, and then this was the defined moment in my life as a person, where I kind of thought to myself, "Fuck, I've got no one left. Most of them they're gone. And so I took a look at myself. There I am. I'm not boxing
That must
anymore.
have
Kind
killed.
of,
That must have crushed
I
you.
kind of, I'm broke, no money. I don't even. You know what? I mean, one minute everything was fine, the next minute it was gone, just like that. So, and that's why I decided to do this interview, because I know I should talk about myself more. But you know what, Valerie? He was the nicest man, friend, best friend, father, role model, mentor I ever had. And do you know what? I know so many. Me and Michael Sproul, we was very close to him. You know, and he was he was an exceptional person. You know what? Yeah, he was gone 2013 on the 10th of September. Yeah, right. But you know what? I hear people that don't talk about him anymore. And I and he always said to me, when the moment comes, yeah, he will speak. Though I'm a very chatty guy, when people see me, I don't stop talking. For 11 years, 12 years, I didn't speak anything about boxing. I never mentioned boxing. I didn't care about boxing. Do you know what? I hated boxing, and it was the one sport I loved the most. I didn't want to. I just, like it's kind of like you are with a girlfriend you love her, and then you just have a breakup, and you just move houses. It was kind of, this man, he was a father, a mentor to me. So, and I loved him, and it doesn't matter what happens here. In my heart, he will always be there. Yeah, he was the greatest man, and I hope he has rest in heaven. Because without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. He teach me how to be a man. He teach me how to be a person. He teach me how to be humble. And one thing he teach me the most, you know what it was? Not to be a two-faced hypocrite. Don't see me in the street and
Boom.
say hi to me and then dissing me in my back. Yeah, do you know what I mean? This is it. Yeah, I will never do. Do you know what? Yeah, if and I say that, yeah, because I know, because I know since I kind of came back to boxing, yeah, people that will always be jealous of you. Listen, I've got here an experience, yeah, that people that cannot
And you're
see,
still feeling it in
you know.
here.
So
Rocky, you're still feeling it in
you know
here.
what?
I can
Is
see it
what
on
it
your
is, yeah.
face, babe. I can
Think,
feel it. I can feel it. It's on your
man, how
face,
you can talk
bro.
to me, I don't
It's
need people like this in my life,
I'm feeling it for you. I
you know,
swear.
so so this is what happened, So, but you know what? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, as I said, I wasn't gonna do this interview, but I decided to do it because I think there is things that needs to. I think there is things that need to be said to be rest in peace, like he was rest in heaven. You know what? These men, without these men, most of the fighters they're on YouTube, Instagram, all these
Influencers,
how they
influencers.
call it.
You got these guys who are now
My
doing
mind's stuck
prize,
now.
not
But
the
all these
prize fighters,
celebrities, yeah,
like Jake
yeah,
Logan and
yeah,
Paul. No, was it Paul Logan? You know those guys. All
yeah,
of those people.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, these people, yeah, these people, they was kind of for me, yeah. I'm thinking to myself, you know what, yeah, you can fight. Listen, getting a fight because you're famous is easy. Because I can give you 50 million pounds, yeah, come and fight me, yeah. But you know what it takes a true fighter to do? Train, start from the bottom, like me and Michael Sprout started, yeah, working in the yard, yeah. He won the British title and he's done all these things, yeah. And do you know what, yeah? Start from the bottom, having nobody around you, and making it to the top. Michael Sproul,
Yeah,
he was the first man who knocked out Audley Harrison,
yeah,
called out, and Audley Harrison had won the Olympic gold medal. So do you know what? Yeah, come on, and then you get Jake Paul trying to
yeah.
challenge Floyd Mayweather for 50 million or Conor McGregor. Listen, I said to my mate the other day,
He can't handle
Jake
you,
Paul,
Rocky. You'd knock him
I'll
out.
fight him
You'd knock him
anytime,
out.
any
You'd knock
day,
him out.
anywhere,
Jake Paul's a
for
joke.
free,
He's a joke. He's
for
a joke.
free.
He's a joke.
For free I will fight him. So but all I'm saying is these people that disrespect and dissing the sport that we gave our lives. There is many people that killed themselves because the record. There was people they suffered mentally, like Darren Sutherland. He was the boxing Olympics for Ireland, defining dead. So do you know what? Yeah, the sport.
So you took yourself away
As I
because
said, it's just the
your
name of the
Greek
sport.
god, which I think
So
is your brother, he
he
said,
kind of.
"I'm his brother." He got married and had kids. That's what happened. Boxing then becomes a long distant memory. You work to pay a mortgage and support your family because you can't keep taking that risk and keep being hit
Yeah.
and ended up in hospital.
On the photographs, sorry to say, yeah, I remember now. On the photographs, one
Oh,
of the photographs, you
really?
saw me raising
Let's
my
see if I can
hand.
find that
That's my little
one.
brother, Georgie. What he
Yeah.
posted earlier, yeah. Yeah, that's about 20, 15 years ago. Yeah. So this is what
Hey, hey,
happens, and then
Georgie.
kind of, yeah, that's my little brother, Georgie, on the left. Yeah, I think I
Okay,
don't,
hi,
he had
Georgie.
a little baby, so I think he's sleeping now. So, but the other brother, and I think the
Okay,
other brother
okay,
who's
all
writing the
right.
comments is my
They're all
other
in the
brother,
chat
my
room.
little
They're in the
brother,
chat
Paul.
room.
you know. So I don't know why he calls himself a Greek god, So yeah. So then what happens then? He kind of, and then he kind of the when the manager passed away, I kind of said to myself, I need to get a job, move out of boxing. I had low unlicensed fights as well. I boxed unlicensed because it was giving me a good payout, and I would get fights, big fights for big money. So
Yeah, but you
I
did
kind of,
UFC. You did was it
it never
UFC
really
you done
bothered
as
me.
well?
Listen,
You did a
it
one-off
never bothered me
UFC
who I
fight?
face. No, yeah, well, he wasn't UFC. I just put it, it was just I can't, you know what? It's been like 15, 12 years. I can't remember. But this guy gives me a call. I'm not gonna mention his name. He knows who he is. 3 o'clock in the bloody morning. They always think about you at three
I'm gonna
o'clock in the
start
morning. I
calling
don't
the
know
three
why.
o'clock man. You're the 3 o'clock
And
man.
he goes, hi Rocky. He goes,
Yeah.
why not? Better than 1 o'clock. Uh, so he goes to me. He goes, the guy I was having fighting, he's pulled out. Do you know the rule? I said, mate, I don't know. Well, what's cage fighting? Because I only start to boxing, yeah. He goes, oh, it's all going, but you don't like hit somebody in
It's
the face with your,
WWE.
elbows, no, like hit him on his groins. I was like, yeah, something like that. And he was like, would you fancy fighting that? He gave me good money, and I was like thinking, all right, so I need to know the rules. He sends me, I still got his stuff here. He sends me a message with the rules on my phone, right? And he goes to me, this is the rules, yeah. Learn them before you come to fight, right? I thought, fuck's sake, I'm a pro fighter, I mean, Anyways, and I turned up, and fought this guy who I didn't know he was. He was undefeated. You can see on the video. I punched him. He goes down. He gets up, and I didn't know what to do. So, you know, and he beats me. Right? He beat me. I got the money. Went home. A few weeks later, he was fighting for the title on UCMMA, fighting a top Brazilian black belt Jiu-Jitsu, some guy who does all
What
like
the
kung
hell?
fu stuff. And I was like thinking,
Yeah.
what? I just knocked this guy almost out, and you telling me, So and this is where I come back to, obviously, towards when you need somebody the most and you give him a call, they are your truly friends. On the
Yeah.
other hand, I love boxing and fighting. It's in my blood, I mean, I know I'm married now,
But
I've got a little baby, and
I mean that
kind of I can
let's
calm
go
down,
before
because
we
my
we
wife doesn't
get
like.
out of here. It's the when I was speaking to you, we had a really good conversation, and
Mm,
my heart wrenched for you because you even said that in those days, because they became dark days. Once Dean
thank you.
died, everything just died with you. Everything had
Yeah.
gone, and there was days that I don't know how much you want to
Mm,
say of this, but you said there was you were out, no money, destitute. You had to take various jobs, and your
mm,
living situation. Do you want to highlight any
mm.
of that, just so anyone can understand what happened before you turned the corner and be in a good
Yeah.
place where you are now with a good job? Just fill us in there.
Yeah. Okay, so I was getting jobs here and there. Initially, I was working on the doors, as a doorman. Like, it was just a horrible. And then one night, so this is, I'll tell you quickly. I don't know if we have enough time, but um, I gave this guy a fight.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Ross Minta,
Yeah.
who is Alan Minta's son. Yeah, he's his boy. Yeah, Ross Minta. He's a very good friend of mine. Very nice
Yes.
man.
Yes.
He runs a boxing event called the Queensberry League. It's for people who they didn't have a clarity. Yeah, there's people like they didn't have a clarity as myself to be a pros. They want to make a bit of name for themselves. So there's some good talents as well to fight. Ross Minta will help them out. Yeah, so I had this guy. He had a one man fight. He was a journeyman himself. He was going through a hard time, and he decided to fight. So I called Ross Meter and I said to him, "Look, I've got this guy. He's fighting. I wasn't working at the time. So he said, "Yeah, let's get him on." Anyways, he comes in. He was fighting for the title in front of TV, and he was down twice. I'm gonna tell you where everything changed. He was knocked down twice, and then he comes in the corner. The referee walks in the corner. He says to me, "Rocky, I'll leave him for one more round." I said, "All right." And he comes out in the second round and he knocks the other guy out. Right. On that night, there was a guy there who now owns a boxing gym. His name is Andy, and he's kind of we start talking, and he said to me, "Oh," I said, "I'm Rocky," and he said, "Ah, yeah, I heard about you." Beep beep beep. He was swearing because he thought I was a Batman. So what he's done, a few days later, I gave him a call and I said, "Well, look, man, I don't have, he said to me, "Look, I want to help you out. How can I help you out?" I said, "Well, I don't have the money, the clarity to buy a car." And he said to me, "Look, go and find yourself a car, give me a call, and I will pay for it." So I said, "Sure?" He said, "Yeah." That's about like 10, 12 years ago. I said, "Okay." So I turned up in the yard. I found this G-Wagon car.
Yeah.
Don't know what the hell it was, but it was a cheap little runner. I gave him a call. This guy takes the phone and he pays for the car. And so from this moment and after, I kind of, you know what, most, my trainer that had died, I had no one around. So sometimes you have to go to strangers. I didn't know this guy. Now he's a very good friend of mine, but back then I didn't really know him. He was just somebody who was in a stage in my life who helped me out. And so he helped me out. I got a little car. He moved on. Then I was doing close protection. I don't want to mention much about it in Iraq, and I've been there. I've done a lot of things there. So, um, and then and then I thought to myself, I need to do something, and that's where we come to today. I joined the police as a part-time officer, and while I was talking to somebody in the police about, he said to me, "You look like a boxer," and I said, "Well, I used to box." And he goes to me, he goes, "Oh, I know this guy. He's the head of a Metropolitan Police boxing team. His name is Danny Sannon. You might see
Yeah.
him on Instagram. He does lots of artwork. He's a very talented man." He said to me, "I'm going to speak to him about you and see what he says." I said, "Okay." So I had sent him a photo when I retired from boxing with Joy Kazaki and Richie Woodward
Okay.
saying Rocky, end of Rocky's Road. So anyways, we got in touch with him, and yeah, that's the photo, yeah. We got in touch with Danny, and he decided to take me. He decided to take me over because I had much experience and many
Oh
fights
wow.
to
Okay.
become a trainer from the Metropolitan Police boxing team, who they've got
Yeah.
some of the toppest
Yeah.
fighters. Like they box on tournaments. They're well,
I'm looking forward to
and
having him on the show.
and that's where I kind of that's where yes, and that's where I decided to come back to boxing, and that's why nobody has seen me for 13 years now until recently. So what happened? This guy, I started talking to this guy, and we became friends. He said to me, you know what? Yeah, you can come around and train, because you're in the police. So start, and one thing I thought to myself, you
Did
know
you
what?
start to find the
Hold on,
passion again? Was
I
it
need to come
you
back.
felt the passion
So
came back, not as a boxer, but what made you think I need to come back into boxing? Give me the reason why. Because remember, you've lost all passion. You don't
yeah,
care. It's like I don't want to smell
I'll
it,
tell you why.
hear it, feel it. I don't want it
Yeah,
around me. You could do without it. But now you're like, whoa, I'm going into the archives. I'm digging everything out of the archives. I need to get all my stories
yeah,
out. I need to tell everybody that I am
yeah,
here. Tell me.
yeah. So you know why? Because while I went there, after I finished, I kind of I was talking to my lovely wife, who she's really the success what I am today is because of her, and I like to give her a big shout out,
A
like
man who
lovely woman,
recognizes his wife.
and my little daughter Matilda, my family,
Beautiful.
Paul and George, yeah.
Tell her we
She had
won't
me
be
lock
long. We've got
myself in the
another
other
10
room,
minutes. Tell her we
because my
won't be
daughter she's
long.
too noisy, but no, no. But what happened? So I went to boxing with Danny, and while the lockdown came in force, I said to my wife, I said, well, I need to do something, because I love boxing. And so Danny knew some other guy who is a police officer. His name is
Oh,
Tom,
wow.
and he's a very, very good friend of mine. In fact, he's like
Yeah,
a
brother,
brother.
brother.
No, he's more than a brother. He's a brother. And what happens? Tom is run. So now where we come to today, I'm a trainer in the Metropolitan Police boxing team with Danny Shannon, because I had many fights. I have a lot of experience, and I'm a very good trainer as a person. I know how to talk to people. And then Tom, who is based in Central North, they're having a new project in Holloway. It's called Metrobox. Because people they think, and this way is people they think, people like me, they can't be a police officer. Why not? People say, well, you don't look like
Yeah.
one. How is a police officer looks like, I mean, I'm sorry. It's funny, So Tom is in charge.
Okay.
So Tommy has a sergeant his name is Tony Quinn. And Tony Quinn is a very passionate about helping the community and helping the project. So what they've done is they came up with an idea to start a boxing club absolutely free for the community, for any diversity people, any race, any color, anything. Anyone who cannot afford it, anyone who is getting bullied at school, anyone who has problems at home, anyone who has no money, anyone who is anyone, you know, anyone who wants to do anything, they're welcome to come to the boxing.
And
It's
where is
absolutely
this? Where
free.
is this
It's from
place?
age
Where is this
11
place?
to 24, right? It's in Holloway.
Holloway. Okay.
It's based in
Oh,
Holloway. It's called
Sobel
Sobel
Centre. Yeah.
Sobel
Yeah.
Sports
Michael
Club.
Sobel Centre.
It
When
start,
does that open? Tell everybody, when does
yeah,
that
that's right,
open?
yeah, and yeah. Uh, well, it's opening soon. It's just kind of
Okay.
it's opening in
Let me know.
well, it's
Make sure
opening
you
on the
send me
12th
the
of April,
flyer
I
and I
think,
can put
because
that
of
up on our
COVID-19.
website, which is
But
www.standinginmytruth.co.uk,
yeah,
so everybody can see that. We can put that information.
okay, and that's where And that's where, so what happened? I came back to boxing. Dan got me back to boxing. I met with Tom. Tom met me with Richard Davis, who I remember his father boxing. Me and Richard Davis, we became best friends. Tom became best friends. And what happened? I started speaking with Richard, and he was like, Rocky, you like my father. The only difference, he's Jamaican and you from half Greece,
So that's
So he
Richard
said,
Davis. Let
let's
everybody
work,
know that's
let's
Richard
work together.
Davis,
Let's build something,
Don
I've got a lot of
Davis's
boys,
son, the legendary
Richard
Don
Davis.
Davis, the coach. They're now opening their centre on the 12th
Yeah,
of April as well, down in South London. So, I have to give a big
Correct.
shout out to Richard. He was one of my first boxing
That's
guests,
what I was gonna say. Yeah.
and we have just gone from strength to
Yeah.
strength. And he was the one who introduced me to
Oh.
you, to be fair. So I owe a lot to Richard. A lot I owe to Richard. Do you know what I
So,
mean?
yeah.
So I don't know if I don't know if he's still watching or anything, but I
So
just
Richard,
want to say to him, thank you, Richard.
can I tell you the truth? Yeah. And you know what? Richard is a very passionate, very humble. You know what I love about
Listen,
Richard?
mate,
And
I'm
I want to
telling
say that
you.
he loves his father.
Oh
You
my
know,
God,
he,
yeah.
he adores his father. And and do you know what? Yeah, I want to say, I know
No,
there's
no, no,
people
not at
listening.
all.
Yeah, and please don't take it the wrong way. Nah, I did not come here to to cry in front of a camera and say, oh, I had a hard life. I had some good moments. I like to say thank you to my mom for raising three of us by herself. She worked three jobs. We had a hard times. Eating from the church because we had no money. Listen, I've been there. Every the best people have been there. But I'm gonna tell you the truth here. Nelson Mandela said the greatest quote ever. I keep saying that all the time. There is no
Yeah,
passion
yeah.
being alive that you're not capable of living. You have to take the risk, you know. And I came to this point in my life now where I kind of I decided to give more into
But
the
you were never
community,
selfish.
rather than
You just know
being a
that
selfish
whatever your
person.
journey,
I
the
was never
journey that you
selfish.
went on,
Yeah.
which was all the fighting, the bullying, the self control, the discipline, the homeless, no money,
Yeah.
losing the best people in your life. Reaching out to your faith to keep you going, your brothers, your mom and everybody else. This is where it's brought you, Rocky. It
Mm.
was all designed to bring you here because, as you just said,
You
it
know
could
what's
have
the
been
thing? Yeah?
worse.
You know what's the thing? The thing is, it's so hard, yeah. Like 10 years ago, yeah, or around 11 years ago, 10 years ago or
Oh,
so,
Mark,
I was
yeah,
speaking to
I
this
know
guy.
Mark, yeah,
His name is Mark Prince. Mark Prince, boy, yeah. We was talking all the time on the phone, and we had the long, deep conversations. I didn't see him for
yeah.
10
He's an
years. Obviously
OBEs. I
now,
think he's
obviously,
Mark Prince
I see
OBEs.
him on
Written a couple
Instagram.
of books.
He's doing well, and I'll be yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm happy for him, because at the end, but you know what? Yeah, what happens? Kind of, there is people I used to talk to on a genuine daily to daily basis. They haven't seen me for so long. And then I decided, my wife opened the Instagram account, and that's where I come to the end of my career because, well, the end to the start is she opened the Instagram account because I decided to come back to boxing as a trainer and a matchmaker in the memory of Dean Powell. Dean Powell, when we used to stay in the hotels and talking about boxing, he would kind of tell me about his secrets, how he does the matchmaking, how he matchmake people, how he does all the contacts. And he said to me, one thing you have to have the most is a
That's
gift of the
you.
gab. If you don't, you ain't going nowhere,
See, I told
So,
you. That's what I was saying to you.
that's me, yes.
Everything that you
So now
learned
that's
is
what I
what
came
this
back
is
to.
what you were meant to be. You may not have in your head or in your life be the Fury
Yeah,
or
so
the AJ or the Mayweather, but you've accumulated and you went away and now you're back. You're back to tell a story, Rocky.
so and the reason why I came back as well, my lovely, is because Greece, Greece as a country is beautiful. Listen, it's a beautiful country. Yeah. Yes, there's not much future, but what happened? There was no professional boxing in Greece back then, so I came
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Now Greece has kind of moved on after 20 years. Getting a bit of a boxing association. There is some good fighters in Greece. If they listen to me, I know the game. I've been in the boxing for a long time. It's only because of COVID-19 we went a bit backwards, yeah. But what is my philosophy, my idea is to move boxing from Greece because there's some good fighters that have a go a chance of the future. Trust me, I've been there. And trust me, I'm telling you, because I've been there, I came here by myself, it was a hard times. So do you know what? When you get somebody like me who says, you know what, I can get you a fight, I can help you out, I can show you the road. You have the tools, I just use the contacts. And and that's where I decided to come back to boxing and become a matchmaker. And, look, as I said, I had many friends in boxing, but when I was out and counted out, I had no money. I was broke. Nobody was really there. So you know what? I don't think I have anyone, apart from my wife, my little baby girl, who you'll see as soon. I don't think really anything else anymore matters. My family as well. But and that's where I came to a point where I thought to my wife, I said to her, I've done what I had to do in boxing, but now I just kind of want to give something else. And I want to give one. You know what? There's one man he is a very good friend of mine. His name is Mickey Collier. Yeah, Mickey Collier. Um, he's the
Yeah.
British Box Board of
Yeah.
Control licensee. SRV and council head. He's a very good man. Many years back, he helped me out. And he was somebody I hadn't really spoke to. He was just there to make sure we're safe. He helped me out, and I always appreciate it. And
Rocky, oh my
he's a
God,
lovely
you
man. I
are
just wanted to give him a
just
big,
the bomb. You are the
obviously
bomb.
tell him,
And there's some lovely
'cause-
comments in, because there's three different
oh,
chat
thank you,
rooms going
thank
on
you.
here. And so I'm trying to watch them all to give you back. Sorry?
Uh, You know, I just wanted to say, Valerie, I just wanted to say, any haters, yeah, listen, keep your opinion to your opinion, yeah. To be honest with you, Valerie, I'll tell you the truth. It was a pure example. People like, listen, when you meet me, yes, you can't speak to me for
Yeah.
10 minutes because I haven't worked in one job for 30 years. Do you understand
Yeah.
me? I boxed,
Yeah.
I've been in the army, I'm in the police. So I've got a story to tell that a
No, you
book,
need to
a
have
200 pages
chapters.
book, it
You will
won't be
need
enough. It has to
to
be
make
10,000
sure that when
pages,
you write this book has to have different
you know.
chapters. You're going to have part one and another sequel,
So
another sequel, because you know, and I know, which we haven't even touched on, but we've got to shut the show down, is that you have met a lot of people in your time, from the
sorry,
underworld to the
Valerie.
upworld to the overworld to the downworld, you name it. You know people. And, I'm just grateful, as I
Yeah,
said before, that you've come onto the show to tell at least some of the story, and people identify with not just you, other boxers who had a dream. They've come from being bullied, from a broken home, from many different avenues, not just saying you're from a broken home, but you tried. Well, hey, I'm not saying it. I'm just, this is your
well, I
story.
was,
You've
I
come from a
was,
broken home and you
I was.
kept
You
it
know, it's
together
the truth.
when it could have been worse. As I said, you could
Yeah,
have just easily, gone down a drugs road. You could have killed yourself, but somebody found you. Somebody kept giving you redemption, and it wasn't just
yeah,
one. You've had about 3 or 4 different redemption because of the person that you are. And the one thing I want to say after listening to you, and I'm
yeah.
going to say, I know it's a bit too late probably to say it now. Stop self-deprecating. Stop saying I couldn't and I
Say
wasn't
it, yeah,
and I didn't. That's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to say, no, I'm not like that. But I'm telling you, from someone listening to you,
yeah. Thank
from
you.
this day forward,
No, no,
and
thank
anything
you.
that happened to you in the past,
Yeah,
I want you to change that narrative. Whenever you go into another interview with anyone, remember what Valerie just said to you. It's not
yeah,
about making someone feel sorry for you, but I want you to acknowledge
yeah,
that you're going to change your narrative, which is, I did. I fought to the best of my capability. I don't care if I didn't make it as Fury or AJ or anybody.
yeah.
I did what I had to do because that's what my journey was at that time.
Do you know what my wife? My wife says to me. Yeah, my wife quickly. She says to me,
No,
"Do you know what? You've done so many
exactly.
things, and I've
Exactly.
never seen you bragging about it. You always, when somebody asks you, you will always say, why?" She said, "Why? Why would you not say, hey man, I had so many
Right.
fights. Hey man,
Yes.
listen, you are a legend in story
Exactly.
yourself. As a man. So why would you not see it? But you know why? Because I always felt, and I always seen it, and yes, you're right. I always felt that the people I surround myself around, they
You
always
don't
see me
have to
as a
keep.
threat. So I
You don't
always
have
had
to
to
keep,
kind of keep
Rocky. You
humble
are humble.
because the
That's
moment
why I
I
said you
try to
change that
show,
narrative.
and
You
then
are humble. You are
yeah,
beautiful. You are humble. You
that's
did
good. Yeah,
your journey. Your journey
thank you,
made other people's
thank
journey
you.
look good. Remember that. What you did, you made other people look good. You took them to a
Thank you.
brink.
Thank you.
It's true. It's exactly. Listen, babe. This
Yeah.
is me and you
This is
having
the
this
truth.
conversation.
This is
I
the
don't
truth.
mince my word. I stand in my truth.
You
And
know,
from this day forward, you're going to stand in your truth. I'm saying to you, stand in your truth.
do you know what's the truth? Yeah, I made other people look.
You made other
I
people
made other
look
people. You know
good.
what? Yeah, you
There
are
you
right. I
go.
made other people looking good. You
You
know what I
made
mean?
other
I
people
know
look
I'm
good.
laughing, but it's
Change
the
your
truth. It's
narrative.
the
The
truth. Yeah,
next
it's
person who
the truth.
interviews you, you
Like,
don't need to brag. There is nothing called bragging. All it is acknowledging what you as a human person have been
yeah.
through, from the bullying to the calling of names. People behind your back even sneered at you but didn't have the decency to tell you. Remember that. Remember that. But you are humble to be the one that in this day and
Oh my
age,
God.
you're
You
able
know
to
what? Yeah,
look
I
back.
wanna.
They say, who laughs last, laugh the best. Remember those? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I tell you, Valerie. I wanna give. You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, I just wanna say, God bless Dean Powell. Yeah. You know, God bless him. You know, I pray for him. You know, most days. You know, God bless my wife, my child. God bless you.
It's my
God bless the people
pleasure.
who listen today. I'd like to thank you for inviting me around. Michael Sprott, I love you, ma. Tom, my friend, you know, the police officer, he went through a breakdown, you know, obviously his girlfriend. So if any single ladies there
You
are there, you
become
know, he's a very good
you're a
looking man, you know,
matchmaker
so I
now,
just
are
want to
you?
give a big shout out, you know. I told him I would say that, you know. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
and
Thank
then
you.
thank
No,
you very much,
thank
yeah,
you.
and wish you all
Thank
the best,
you.
my lovely, you
And
know, and
anybody
hopefully
that
Mike
watches is
scores, yeah.
watching this now or watching the rerun, I just want to say, look out for. He's got a Instagram page. He doesn't really give it out. He doesn't really, due to the nature. Could you give your Instagram page neat details out
No,
so people can
I will
hit
give
you
it
up?
out. I will. Yeah. So the
Don't
The
forget,
Instagram has been
change
purely
the
made not
narrative.
for
Change
hate.
the
Yeah.
narrative. Remember
I'm
what I
not
just
into it,
said?
and that's the
Forget
reason.
about the
If
word
somebody
hate.
doesn't, no, 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 yeah, yeah. If somebody, yeah, I'm just saying because you know I've seen. But all I'm saying is the Instagram has been built.
There you go.
It's called Boxing Agent, pound for pound, P for P, and it was made because that's the name. That's the name. Me and Dean Parry we used to discuss many years back. And if I was ever gonna become a matchmaker, if I was the true. So I made this. So it's for people who were looking to fight or were looking to progress. You know, become train. You know, I work with Richard Davis and Tom. You know, we got some other trains as well. You know, so if they want to do something, you know, and especially the Sobel project, which is run by the police, any people who were going through diversity, as I said, racial abuse, bullying, and all this stuff, that's not what is going on in there. It's absolutely free. Anyone in hallway who's listening, please come down
Why
to
only
train 8,
24?
11 to
Can't you be in your
24. Make
40s?
your dream come true. And maybe one day.
Um,
No,
are you refusing
this is
me?
the idea. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules, so. No, no, I
I'm
mean,
joking.
no, I'm not in charge, So I didn't know you would
No,
ask me
11 to
anyways,
23 is
I
perfect. I'm
told them
just
though. I told
joking.
them, but you know what? This the because
11
it's
to 24, sorry.
no 11 to 24 is a youth engagement because it's only because it's a youth engagement, So it's only about youths, So, but what do you
I'm
call
21.
youth? I'm
I don't know
37. I
about
still
you.
feel
I'm
like youth,
21.
So,
I'm not going to lie.
so you look good,
Hey.
girl. I saw you dancing before all this
Listen,
Jamaican
Rocky, it was
reggae,
lovely
and I
to
was like,
meet you.
yeah,
I've
boys, you
gone
can
well
move.
over the time. But as I said to
Oh my
everybody
god.
in the different chat rooms, lovely to Michael.
Sorry.
Check your emails. I've got you in a couple of weeks. Greek God, nice to meet you too. Your Greek God says that picture of me was the best night ever.
Yes, Michael
Literally, we got
Sprott.
drunk and after ate good food. Those were the nice days. Now we're grown and old.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
he only lives
wow!
10 minutes from
But
me, and I never visit him, because I cannot stand to
go,
hear
go,
him,
go, get her quickly, quickly,
Would
quickly before
you,
we cut
would
off.
you, would you, would you like to show my little girl quickly, just to say hi to my little girl?
Oh, Diana, thank you.
Diana,
No, I wish. Well, I would like to
Diana.
be 21. I'm not going to wish that on my bad self, but nowhere near 21. But thank you, Diana. And thank you for actually tuning in and watching your Rocky. I think he's gone to get the baby. Where is he? To everyone in the YouTube that was watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Hello, Munchkin.
There she is.
Hello. Hi. Oh,
Right
isn't
there.
she beautiful? Hi.
Bye-bye.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Hi. Oh, isn't she gorgeous? Hello.
Yeah, she's Valerie.
Yeah. Oh, oh.
She's just behaving herself now. I had a little talk with her
Ta-da.
inside the room, you know.
Bye. Say hey, hey. Oh, you are so welcome. To everybody out
Bye.
there,
Bye
please
bye.
quickly say bye
Valerie,
to
thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, darling. Yeah.
thank you everybody for tuning in on the Standing in My Truth and Valerie's
Bye bye.
respect. Gigi Funk says respect Bird. Az, I think you went to put the kettle on. And Siobhan and everybody else. Anyone that watches this after. This is my last breakfast show. And I'm going back to midday shows and to because next week